Why is it that positive affirmations are not as effective as you hoped for, right? They're not that transformative. They didn't suddenly change your negative thinking patterns and stop you from doing those behaviors that you tried to stop, or the coping mechanisms. Why is this? Right? Is it bringing up some frustration within us, right? Because in the psychology or self-development industry, you know, your therapist, your coach, or whoever might have been telling you to use affirmations like, I am worthy, right? It was not my fault. I am an okay person, right? These kind of things to kind of repeat them. And I've done all this, by the way, right? I'm just wanted to point something out why this was not as effective. And it just caused more frustration and more of a sense that I am a failure, that I am broken, right? So I want to explain this using an analogy or a metaphor. And for this, I really invite you to be fully present for those next few minutes, right? Really stop doing what you're doing. Sit down. Because I don't want you to just intellectually kind of get it. I want you to actually feel the shift. Feel what that does in your body, right? So you ready? I will use an example out of my own life, because that is something that seems to come up for a lot of people, and that is the thought or the whole storyline or the perception that I am broken, right? Broken beyond repair, you know, that childhood trauma really damaged me. I'm sort of fundamentally flawed, that kind of deep brokenness. Okay, so the analogy we're using are trains, and you may have had metaphors or analogies about trains before. Trust me, this is different. Like, really pay attention. So there is a train, and that's the train, the I am broken train. It only has one destination, right? It's the doom, gloom, the Broken Hill station. That's where it stops. That's where it's going to. That's what it promises, right? This is the storyline. Meanwhile, you're in the train, and you're trying to decorate the train with, I am worthy. No, I'm strong. I figure things out. You're putting all these kind of colors on the train on the outside. Right? And if you've ever seen a train in real life, right, once the train is in motion, it doesn't matter what kind of color that train is, it goes. So you're sitting on that train thinking that that train will stop at, oh, I'm feeling really good here station, right? Or I'm worthy station. No, you're in the train, I am broken. And it's an express train. This train has no stops. It's an express train. I know, you're already asking, how am I going to get off this train? I know I'm on this, right? Let me explain. Okay, I want you to park this for a little. Just an analogy. This is an analogy. So here you're on the broken train. Let's assume you would like to start a new hobby. Something like perhaps you want to play the guitar, or you want to take up pottery, whatever it is, or painting. For that, you start to look at things and you realize that, you know, you might feel like there's procrastination. What really happens is that train is not in motion, right? The I am broken train, that is in motion, that's going full steam, there's no stopping that train, right? But what is the fuel for that train that keeps it going? Have you ever wondered that? The fuel for that train is your attention. It wants all of it. 100%. It does. It cannot stand you looking at something else and enjoying that beautiful butterfly. It's like instantly, so it pulls up a story, it pulls up a memory to get you back on that train. Right? I want you to stay there. So that train, let's say it's doing pottery, is still stationary. It does not move because you haven't actually paid any attention to it yet. You haven't done anything about it yet. But once you start, perhaps you're doing a pottery class, you're going there, And so it gets into motion, and perhaps while you're on the wheel and you're playing with the pottery, you kind of lose, that when you that sense when you lose track of time, you're so in the flow of, and it's beautiful, right? You have that moment, but instantly when you have that moment, the energy that you normally give to that I am broken train is redirected to that pottery train. The I'm broken train does not like that. So it comes up with stories. Oh, no, what are you doing, right? It's like, it's not perfect. You should have done that better. You made a mistake here, right? It brings up thoughts like that. It's baiting you. It's literally trying to get you back on the I am broken train. And you see that? 1 moment ago, you were in the flow. You had a completely different experience. You were on a different train. You didn't try to decorate the I am broken train with pottery. You were actually on a different train. You had a different emotional experience. You see that? You don't have that flow state, I'm in the flow, I'm feeling good on the I'm broken train. It does not exist there, right? So that's a different train. But so when you were fully focused, all your energy went there and you had that experience. But the other train is quite in motion, right? It doesn't stop just because you're trying to do a pottery class or something like that, right? It pulls you back in. And what happens for most of us, not only does it take us back to the unbroken train, but we actually realize what is happening is, oh my gosh, I am actually having a good moment. It's, oh, hang on, I am not worthy of that. I haven't done enough healing work yet, right? So you're going back onto the I am broken express lane via the I am not worthy train, right? You jump on that, feeling really unworthy and really shattered, and oh my gosh, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that, right? And back you are, and it's almost like I don't know, relief is perhaps not the right word, but it feels so familiar to be on that I'm broken brain. I am broken brain, yeah, I'm broken train. that sense, that despair, that hopelessness, right? That stuckness, that is so entrained. It has so much traction. It knows exactly what kind of thoughts it needs to speak through the speaker to get our attention. You see that? It knows exactly, and what it needs to say to you might be a little bit different to what it says to me or someone else. It's very specific to you. It knows exactly what to do there. So our job then comes in noticing that, noticing those trains. Oh, I'm on the I'm broken train, right? And we really, to jump and get another train going, there's an infinite amount of trains that we can get in motion. Anything that we can put our attention to, our focus to, our awareness to, that is where our energy goes, and that goes into motion. And it has a different combination of feelings. It's a different experience to be on that. And the difficult part is for people with mental health disorders or diagnosis, right? We're very stuck. It almost feels like there's no way off that train that I'm on. I'm literally next to a train station, so you can hear the sounds of the trains. And let that sound of the train to be a reminder for you, right? That to get curious, what kind of thought train am I focusing on right now? Right? Where am I placing my energy to right now? It. Even just listening to me here, is there already thoughts that trying to pull you back? Oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's no harder for me. I can't do that kind of. But it's pulling you out of that train. I'm trying to get you in a different kind of state, a different experience, and then there's different trains that are so used to getting your energy. They want it back, and they're trying at all costs. They're very I used to say sneaky, but sneaky in a kind of playful way, right? And the minute we are noticing that this train is trying to get my attention, my awareness, my focus, hence my energy. The minute I notice, I want to notice that from a neutral space, right? A neutral space, not a judging one. I'm just noticing it, and it's almost like popping the bubbles that you can blow, and how kids get really excited about popping those bubbles. There's so much joy in it. The minute you get the awareness of, oh, here's that thought again for that train that I don't want to hop onto, right? And then it's literally like I can just go pop, right? Just by bringing my awareness to this, it just pops, right? And it's done. And that's where we create some more of a choice point. It's like, okay, I just realized my energy was being pulled in that direction. Where do I want my energy to go to? Right? Because at any point we can have many different trains going, and the more healthy we get, the more swiftly and more at ease we can just roll from one train to another and back and forth, and we're not getting stuck on it and feel like I'm trapped on this train. This is the only train that exists for me. This is it, right? This is an express stopping at no stations kind of thing, right? That is the mental health illness, to recognize that, right? That this is, oh, this train has gotten so much traction. It kept pulling me in by telling me that there is no exit for me. But this is the hook. This is the bait. This is what I kept believing, that I cannot get off it. You see that? I fully believe that I cannot get off that I am broken train. That's it for me in this lifetime. It's just a thought that train uses to keep me stuck on there, right? Because you too, I know you had experiences in your life where you were in that flow, where you had a different experience, right? Or where you saw something really, really funny and you just cracked up laughing and it was just so much joy, right? It's a different train, a different emotional experience. There's a different activity, different thoughts, and a different emotional state is a train, a full train, right? It's not the I am broken train dressed up as something else. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do those kind of emotions. It doesn't do joy, but you actually have to get off to get a different experience, and allowing yourself to explore that, to realize, oh wow, there's different trains and can get into motion, and at any point I can park them and go on another one, and I can go back to that one again if I want to, right? That I am broken train, if I really focus on it and right now in this moment, right, and put some attention and awareness, I can get that in motion. It's very slow now because I just really don't buy into that anymore. I don't want to be on that train. I'm done with that train. Right? I spent decades on that train. I was like, I'm a bit bored with this now, with the scenery, with the same kind of things coming through those speaker phones. It's like, yeah, here we go again, right? It's that looping kind of stuff. I'm done with it. And you need to get to that energy within yourself. It's like, my gosh, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm done with this. I'm ready. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna try some different experiences. It's okay for me to try a different experience. Anytime I have a thought or something coming up that's pulling me back onto that train, it's just because that train can only exist. It can only live by me giving it energy via my attention and focus. Does that make sense? I hope so. Let me know how you go with that. And let me know what that does for you inside, thinking about it that way.